How's everyone doing? I'm Rod, your happy hippie, and I'm here to do another contest entry. Yes, another contest. This is for Chris at Musically Obsessed. And I guess all of us are musically obsessed. That's why we're watching these videos and making these videos. Chris has a wonderful channel and he just hit 200 Musically Obsessed. Check him out if you haven't checked him out already. And it's a real cool contest. 5 easy questions. And the first one is your first musical memory. And for me, it goes back to being a little kid. Don't know how old I was, but I was in my mother's Volkswagen Bug and living in D.C. And I remember the song by Loudon Wainwright III coming on, Dead Skunk. And I don't know why I remember that, but being a little kid, probably 4 or 5 years old, I just, subconsciously, it just got in my head. Dead skunk in the middle of the road, stinking to high, high heaven. I just love that song, and I remember hearing it on AM Rock, I guess, and a little Volkswagen Bug. So that's my first musical memory. A song you would sing at karaoke. I've never done karaoke. I've been to a karaoke club one time in my life. I did not perform. It wasn't a bar. It was like a pizzeria thing. And my little girls at the time, they're grown now, but they got up and they did Schools Out for Summer. They were like 5 and 9 at the time. But if I was going to do karaoke, I would pick Alice Cooper, Schools Out for Summer, just because of that memory I have about my daughters. Here's a question. It's been asked before in the VC. If you were stuck on a desert island, what 3 albums would you bring with you? And he didn't say that we couldn't use greatest hits or any compilation albums. He just said, what 3 albums would you bring with you? So I'm going to pick some live music. Of course, I'm going to pick the Grateful Dead, and I went with Europe 72. And not only is this a great album, but it's a CD, so I can fit in my luggage, right? I love this album. Solid performance by the Grateful Dead. Europe 72. There's no sense talking about it because it's a very well-known album. Grateful Dead. Gonna go, next one would be the Rolling Stones Voodoo Lounge Uncut. And the reason I picked this Rolling Stones album is it's a live album. So they do a lot of their music on there. You're going to find all the cool songs. So it's not a greatest hits album, even though he didn't say that we couldn't pick greatest hits. I picked a live album, a compilation, so I'd have lots of great Stones music on this 2-album set. And the third one I went with was Jimi Hendrix, Both Sides of the Sky. And this is a fantastic album. It was unreleased material. It came out, I think, 2016. It came with this little booklet of Jimmy. Fantastic little album. It's got Stephen Stills on it. Him and Jimi Hendrix doing Woodstock. And with Stephen Stills singing and Jimi Hendrix on guitar, man, it sounds like Crosby, Stills, and Nash on acid. Also features Johnny Winter on vocals on one of the songs. So this is just a tremendously cool Jimi Hendrix album. It's definitely one I would pick for my desert island. And that's 3. Let's see what the next question is. Artwork. An album cover you could stare at for hours. Okay, Whipped Cream by Herb Alpert. Yeah, that's definitely one I could stare at for hours. But here's one. It's a badass album, man. Look at the artwork on that. Odessa, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Great band. In a way, they remind me of Santana but instead of the Latin grooves, the Latin beat, it's kind of an African psychedelic funk jazz, and these guys are absolutely wonderful. This is from the early 70s. Odessa. The closing one was best closing track. The last question is the best closing track. And he didn't specify, could it be the closing track on a side of an album or the entire album? And if it's a side of an album, I'm going Led Zeppelin 2, the last song on side 1, Thank You. You start that side with A Whole Lot of Love. It's just a powerhouse song. The whole album, I mean, the whole side rocks, and the last song is Thank You. And I love the way that it ends that side. I always have. So that would be my answer for that. Or if it's the closing track on the entire album or CD, it's going to be Jerusalem by Steve Earle. Fantastic song. This song is very political. He talks about John Walker. John Walker was the traitor back in the early 2000s, an American kid living overseas fighting with the Taliban against us. And they brought him back and sentenced him to 20 years in prison. And it's just kind of a strange song. It's not idolizing the guy. It's not taking up for him. It's just kind of about him and what made him do that. You know, what would inspire somebody to do that? Anyway, the song and the album ends with Jerusalem. And that's a really cool song. Some of the lyrics are, I believe one day that all the children of Abraham are going to lay down their swords forever in Jerusalem. And that's just such a peaceful song, and it's a great way to end it. Steve Earle, one of my favorite singer-songwriters. You know, maybe one day there will be peace. Who knows? I hope so. World's getting crazy. A lot of hate going on, a lot of just ignorant people. Anyway, guys, didn't mean to go out on that rant. Peace. Chris, congratulations on 200 subs. I was really happy to do this video for your contest. Get involved. I believe in supporting channels. Guys, be good to each other.